did you have an exit plan, or did you have a biz dev person reach out to you? Because there's some people that, have their own little businesses that are trying to figure out an exit plan.
Yeah.
How did you do it?
Well, I mean, Sales Hacker at that point, we had 170,000 subscribers. We were doing joint conferences with Salesforce that hosted like 1,500, 2,000 people at conference. We were doing millions of dollars in revenue. So, we had built a decent sized, business out of it. I had enough money in cash flow to make investments on the side into early stage tech companies. Like I said, my first check was into Outreach, pre-seed $3 million valuation. They raised around last year at a $4.4 billion valuation. So I got to see that kind of from zero to hundreds of millions in ARR as an investor, and then about 25 to hundreds of millions in ARR as an employee, although I'm not allowed to disclose the numbers. I don't know if I'm allowed to anymore. I'm not an employee anymore, but I
Right,
won't.
right, right.
So it was a lot more than like a content business at that point. It was like a full-fledged media company. I approached Manny. I always kept the sales guy in me. I always kept like a spreadsheet of potential acquirers, and I broke it out by SaaS companies, trade show companies, private equity firms, consultancies like training consultancies, and then analyst firms. I think those were the categories that I had. And so for your analyst firms, it was like Forrester, Gartner, Serious Decisions, Topo. Now a couple of those have gotten gobbled up. Topo's now under Gartner, Serious Decisions now under Forrester. Then there was like the UBMs of the world, which is like trade show, PE firms. Then there's the training consultancies. That's like the Miller Hyman, Sandler, all those big ones. I think like Korn Ferry ended up gobbling up a bunch of those. Then there was the SaaS companies. So like the companies that paid me were sponsors, of my events. There's HubSpot, LinkedIn, Salesforce. Those are the big ones. And then the smaller ones, the up and comers, were interesting because they weren't going to be able to pay me as much in cash, but I could take equity and then work for the business and hope that, the business was able to multiply in value, like Outreach did. When I joined Outreach, they had just raised a round at a $515 million valuation. So valuation's what, 9x from, what it was when I joined on the previous valuation. So I ended up taking mostly stock. It was like 80-20, and went to Outreach's conference in May of 2018. Said to Manny, hey, congrats on the $500 million valuation, $60 million Series D. What keeps you up at night? He said, marketing. I said, oh, well, I got a media company with 170,000 subscribers that are all your ideal client, and I know how to do this thing. And you got best in class sales software as proven by the round you just raised. Let's make this thing happen. And the original plan was not for me to come in and be VP of marketing. I'd never been VP of marketing at a SaaS company before. I was a sales guy and fell into running a media company.